Hi everyone, Tanjay Lewis here. So today I'm going to be interviewing my client who is a 30-year-old woman living in the suburbs of South Jersey. She is considered middle class and is self-employed running her own business. She is also recently divorced and a single mother of 4. I am seeing her today after consistent visits to the ER for panic and anxiety attacks for differing reasons, whether it be stress induced, fatigue, depression, and the stress and trauma of her recent divorce. Although my client is aware of the anxiety attacks and the triggers and the symptoms of the attacks, she is still hesitant on receiving any kind of help, either because of her limited schedule and adjusting to raising 4 children on her own, as well as her belief that therapy is something that can help her learn to cope with the anxiety. My client believes that mental health is a thing, but that it doesn't apply to her and her current mental health. So today we are going to have our initial interview, and the skills that I'm going to focus on are getting to know my client and building rapport, wanting to learn how she developed this mentality, to learn the source of it, and also to use my personal experience as a stepping stool to introduce her to a positive experience of therapy and learning how to cope with anxiety. So without further ado, here is my mock interview. Hi Brianna, my name is Tanjay Lewis and I'm a social worker with Widener University and I've been assigned to help you today.
Okay.
So I like to start my sessions off with learning about you. I read your file, but I want to hear from you. What brings you in today?
Okay, well, I'm a single mom, recently divorced. I have 4 kids. Been struggling with anxiety pretty much lately. A lot of stress, which stems from anxiety. Yeah, I'm trying to find some coping methods.
Okay, well, I'm happy to hear that you want to find some coping methods. So before we jump into coping mechanisms, I want us to rewind a bit and go back to your stress. You mentioned your stress is leading to your anxiety. What are some things that you are stressed about?
What is there not to be stressed about? We're still living in a pandemic.
I definitely feel you on that one. Everything. Okay, so everything like work?
Work.
All
I'm
right.
going to pay for gas, groceries, filling my schedule to keep busy, to work, to make money because I'm self-employed, but also make time for my children.
Wow, so you have quite a bit on your plate. So what do you do for a living?
I'm a cosmetologist.
Awesome. Listen, I am always looking for a new hairstylist.
Oh,
Feel free to leave your card.
Follow me on IG.
All right, so you're a cosmetologist, you're self-employed, you run your own business. Well, there has to be some benefits in doing that, right? You don't have a traditional 9 to 5.
Yeah, I can free up my schedule when I need to.
Okay, noted. And then you said making time for your kids. So, tell me about your kids.
There's 4 of them.
All right.
They're great. 11, 8, 7, and 3. Yeah, 2 boys, 2 girls. They have very active social lives, into sports.
Oh, yeah. So you've entered into the whole like soccer mom phase.
No, not a soccer mom, a football mom.
Oh, excuse me. Yeah. Football mom phase. Well, that's exciting. Yeah. But I definitely see how your plate is full. And I did read in your file that you you just recently were divorced. Could that be leading to your stress?
You know, their dad, he really doesn't help. He's not very active, so everything is just like on mom. Doesn't help financially. So yeah, you know, everything's just on my plate.
I'm sorry to hear that. I know ideally you don't want your marriage to end, but if it does,
it was for the better.
You would hope that, you know, he would continue to be present. All right. So thank you for sharing. These things help me decide what some of our healthy coping skills can be. All right. So give me a day in the life of Brianna from morning to night.
Okay. Typically I work 5 days a week. On days that I do work, my kids usually have school. Up at 6:30, you know, getting everyone ready out the house, at least by 7:30, no later than 8 o'clock. Drop-offs, stopping, get my breakfast, head to work. And time I'm done work, it's time to pick everybody up. And dinner, practice, you know, whole nighttime routine, whatever else needs to be done.
And repeat.
Every day.
By yourself.
Yeah.
You are one strong, independent woman.
Thank you.
For continuing to do it. All right, so now let's focus on how to help you. What are some things that you feel you are doing already for your coping skills?
I don't think I'm doing well with coping. Try to do gym, but sometimes that's impossible. I don't know, maybe put the kids to bed early, have a glass of wine.
Listen, self-care, that can definitely be a form of therapy.
Yeah.
All right, so the gym, I'm happy to hear that you said that. So you have some interest in going, right?
Yeah.
The gym can definitely be a really great outlet for you. Of course, releasing endorphins will help with your stress level and your overall mood.
Yes.
And so some things that I'm thinking of, especially while you're in this transition, how do you feel about continuing these therapy sessions?
Something I have to adjust to. Like, I constantly talk to myself about it because, when I think of therapy for like people that are like mentally not there, like, you know, crazy people. Getting used to talking about my problems to someone, about my stress to someone, you know, it's not really easy, but something that I'm willing to do.
Oh, I'm happy to hear that. And I definitely understand having that mentality of it's only for crazy people. Yeah. If I can be vulnerable and share with you, I have that same view also, and now I'm a therapist. So what changed for me was I just gave it a try. And I was able to have some really good experiences with therapy, and that ultimately would led me to change my mind. And we don't have to jump into any therapy thing. We don't even have to call it therapy. We can just continue to get to know each other. We can start off by building, a professional relationship and diving slowly at a pace that you're comfortable with into your problems and learn how to solve them together.
Okay, well, I'm not really sure if that's really going to fit me in the busy schedule that I already have. I'm already struggling with, you know, my day-to-day activities that I have, just juggling work and school with the kids and everything. So I don't know if therapy will like really be for me. I really wasn't raised to, you know, sitting back and talking to a stranger about my problems, like as if I'm nuts, you know.
I absolutely understand. Again, if I'm being vulnerable and sharing about myself, I also grew up in a household where what happened, you know, in the family stayed in the family. I'm going to take this time to kind of challenge that narrative for you. You've been operating in that form for this long, and so far it's led us to stress, anxiety, bouts of depression, and we want to change that. And so if we're going to change it, we need to change the things that we're doing to address it and to solve it. And then as far as your busy schedule, fortunately, there are many solutions to that. One of them being, especially with the pandemic, telehealth, where I can call you, or we can have maybe just a 30-minute session instead of the full 45, or we can check in once a month. I think that with all you do have going on, that putting yourself first is really important right now, especially as you transition into single parenthood and adjusting and continuing to be the great mom that you are.
Okay.
So would you be open to that?
Let's see how much it will cost first. I need to see if I can be able to afford it financially, or if insurance would even pick it up.
That is a great point. And it's definitely something we will check out. And if worst case scenario, it doesn't, I'm sure that we can find you a provider that is covered through your insurance in the event that we are not. And I'd be happy to help you connect with someone else once we know what your benefits cover.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so then how do you feel about maybe we meet again in 3 more weeks?
Yeah, I think that would be good.
At least start with that step?
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I am so happy to hear that. I know you are skeptical and it's not something you do all the time. So I do want to thank you for being open to trying something different. And I'm excited. I hope this works out and I hope that we get to work together in the future.
Thank you.
You're welcome.